Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mark's Backyard Birds. Today's topic is the prettiest time of year at your bird feeder station and how not to miss out on it. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people who stop feeding birds at the first hint of warm weather in the spring, and a lot of that is goes with, well, the insects are starting to appear. They don't need my help anymore, and I'm going to stop feeding now. And this program is about what you'll miss out on if you do that, if you stop feeding birds early in the spring. And there's another reason why. I mean, we feed birds for our enjoyment. There's no doubt about that. And if you're not enjoying what you're doing, then of course you don't want to feed birds anymore. But if you enjoy birds like you and I do, you will want to keep feeding because you're going to miss out on the prettiest show at your bird feeders. And people that are driven by wanting to help birds and help them, the seed eating birds in particular, and returning migrant birds that are coming into the area do need help this time of year. One, those who are returning, they don't know where food is. They do not know where water is. And by you providing that and helping them, they can find it and help them to refuel and continue either on their migration further north or until there's time for them to nest, which they will whenever the insects become more plentiful to them. So they can stay at your feeder 2, 3, 4 weeks before they really start the nesting cycle. So first off, I'm going to talk about birds that are actually here that confuse a lot of people, and they think that they left and they think, oh, well, my goldfinches are finally back. My goldfinches are back. Well, your goldfinches probably never left, especially if you're here in the heart of the country and point south. And you guys in the far north, yes, a lot of the goldfinches do leave and they do come back in the spring. But for most of us, all they do is molt. So the goldfinch here on the right is in its winter plumage, that olive drab, and they are here all winter long. And I get lots of calls from people who say, well, what is this bird? I don't know. I don't recognize this bird. Or in the spring, whenever the males molt back into that gorgeous canary yellow, and the process of it, and that bottom left picture is birds that are in molt, and that's going on right now. And they're pretty close. They're getting really close to that full breeding plumage that we call it. So, and then people go, oh, my goldfinches are back. Well, they really never left, but they certainly are a lot more attractive in their breeding plumage. And so the males will look this way until the fall molt, where they'll molt back into that winter drab plumage. So this is a really beautiful time of year, and you want to keep your finch feeders up, especially through now, because goldfinches in particular don't nest until July. And goldfinches don't eat hardly any insects at all. They are complete seed eaters, and they feed their young regurgitated seed milk to them. So they don't require, they do not require insects, which is rare for most birds. So they have to feed their babies insects. So the goldfinch season is in full swing for most of us. It's beautiful, and you will miss it if you take your finch feeders down too early. Another that is going on right now are birds that have been here all winter, and they are getting ready to leave in migration for their nesting grounds, which, like for the Harris sparrow, is much, much further north than us. But in the winter, we saw them in these bottom two pictures in their winter plumage, the brown and black, and they vary in age and the amount of black in their throat. But this time of year, they're molting in the next few weeks before they leave into that gorgeous silver and black plumage up in the upper left. So another instance of birds that look very different from winter plumage to breeding plumage, and will be under your feeders. Harris sparrows love millet, and they love even Niger seed on the ground, eat sunflower seeds, and they'll be around the bushes in your backyard. But they like the kind of open spaces. So all the native sparrows, like white crowned sparrows, white throated sparrows, are much more colorful in their bright breeding plumages, which occur in late spring. So you'll miss out on that if you're not feeding the birds in the spring months. And of course, we're waiting for the most anticipated bird, and a lot of them are starting to show up now. Of course, the ruby-throated hummingbirds. Now, I know you people that are watching from out west, yes, other hummingbirds as well. Yours guys, Annas and rufous hummingbirds. But waiting for hummingbirds to return is a huge show. Now, yes, they don't eat seed, but the sugar water is so important to them, and having your hummingbird feeders out early because you don't want to miss them. The males come in usually by mid-April here in our part of the country, and a little later up north, a little earlier down south, and you want to catch a male's attention to set up territory on that. And of course, we have whole videos on that, and I'll put that links in the description below. But the ruby-throated male has the red gorget, as they call it, on their throat. The female on the bottom left is white on the throat, and then the bird on the right showing its tongue there is a juvenile bird that is hatched later in the season. We won't see those for a while, but the term, you'll hear me say it several times, sexual dimorphism, you can tell the males from the females by their plumage, and ruby throats are certainly the instance of that. Remember, 4 parts water to 1 part sugar. Don't mix it stronger than that, and change it regularly so that they get fresh nectar. I always say you wouldn't put your pitcher of Kool-Aid out onto the deck in the sun and the hot weather and take a drink out of it every day. No, hummingbird feeders need to be kept fresh. And another of the real exciting birds that add color to your backyard in spring are the Baltimore Orioles. Now, this adult male in its unmistakable orange and black plumage. The adult female below that is much more drab compared to him, like it is in the bird world, but it can be confusing. So I just put this picture in here to make sure you realize that not all males will have that solid black head and black back when they're molting their first year, when they return back here for the first time after spending the winter in the tropics. They're going to be kind of model looking on their face, and sometimes it can be quite hard to tell a juvenile male from a female. So be on the lookout for those in different plumages. But the adult males are unmistakable. Grape jelly, sugar water, the nectar in a 6-to-1 mixture, citrus, oranges, grapefruits, lemons, even cut in half, stobbed, or quarters and stobbed on things for them to be able to feed from. So they are highly anticipated and stunning color. And then the orchard oriole, which is a little bit smaller cousin to the Baltimore, and they will show up. I had a report yesterday of one here in the Kansas City area at a feeder. So they come in about the same times as the Baltimores do, and they're the adults are this burnt orange color. Beautiful in the upper left. This is a male, solid black head. The adult females are below him, and that a yellowish green color without any black. And then the bird on the right is a very confusing bird. It is an orchard oriole, but again, this is a first-year male. This bird has spent its first winter down in the tropics and returned here. And they sing and they go through nesting rituals, but they just don't have that adult plumage yet. So the orchard oriole, another really bird we look forward to seeing at the feeders in spring. Same scenario as with your Baltimore Orioles, the sugar water, grape jelly, and citrus. That's been really coming to oriole feeders with the citrus offered and the grape jelly are the summer tanagers. The summer tanagers, the males are red, upper left. Adult female are yellow in the bottom right. And then this, we call them mustard and ketchup birds, which is a first-year male. Summer tanager is a mixture of yellow and red as it's molting into its adult plumage. By the end of summer, he'll be fully red, like the bird on top. So these birds can be drawn to the oriole feeders. I used to get them a lot at my older house. I had a lot of big trees behind me, and they would visit the oriole feeders in the spring. Very, very welcome. The bird, they eat a lot of bees, actually, so and stinging insects. So real favorite bird to have around. And their colorful cousin, the scarlet tanager. I haven't seen those nearly as much at oriole feeders as I do the summer tanagers, but they do occur, and I get lots of repeats. I've got reports of them eating suet from suet feeders. So they are a stunning red with black wings and black tail. And the female in the bottom right, she is that yellowish green with kind of darkish wings. Best way to tell them apart is by their bills. Their bills are not nearly as big as the summer tanager, but the scarlet tanager, another really colorful addition that you'll miss out if you're not offering and have a chance to see them in your backyard by offering up the oriole feeders with their food sources. Another bird highly look forward to every spring are the rose-breasted grosbeaks. Now, grosbeaks, remember, cardinals are grosbeaks. So these are cousins to the cardinals. And grosbeaks, meaning, of course, large bill, large beak. The adult males are unmistakable. Black and white with that red chest, just stunning birds. The females and the juvenile birds look a lot like a big sparrow. So classic sexual dimorphism, in that the males and females are very different in appearance, and the females tend to throw people off. They'll see the males and they're stunning birds, but they see that female and they think, oh, it's a big purple finch, or it's a big a sparrow or something. But no, these are the same birds. It's a male and a female, and they love sunflower and safflower. Whatever you feed your cardinals, they will like. Birdseed mixes, both kinds of sunflower and safflower are probably their favorites for sure. And they'll come through a nest in our area, but more of them nest to the north. But they'll be in for at least a couple, 3 weeks, and you don't want to miss that show. Another of the grosbeaks that's pretty widespread is the blue grosbeak. This is a more confusing bird. This bird takes 4 years to reach that beautiful adult plumage in the upper left, the adult female in the bottom right. And then the other picture is a bird that's still in transition. You can still see quite a bit of brown, but it's molting into that full adult plumage. So again, big beak, big bill. So you can see them at your feeders, the same thing, sunflower, safflower, like what you're feeding your cardinals. So another bird to highly look forward to. And then last but not least are the indigo buntings. This is a male on the left and a female on the right. Again, an unmistakable beautiful blue bird, about the size of your finches, and they will quite often be on your finch feeder eating with your goldfinches. So they like sunflower chips, and they eat Niger, they eat millet, they eat black all sunflower. Sometimes you'll have a bunch of them on the ground feeding underneath your feeders, but they're stunning birds. And we really like the rose-breasted and the blue grosbeaks. We've only get to see them at feeders for that couple of 3 weeks when they first return, when the weather's usually a bit cooler and they haven't started the nesting cycle just yet. They'll come to your bird feeders, and they're just quite a show. I mean, the color is a big pop after, the winter drab landscape. We love seeing all the beautiful coverage. So the birds that you get at your feeders in the spring are beautiful, and you don't want to miss out on it. Remember, those seed-eating birds, they need seed in April and May, and even some of them in the 1st of June, because not many plants produce seeds early in the season. So they're the ones that truly love seeds, like cardinals and the grosbeaks. They are hungry for seeds. So offering your food source up for them, your feeder station, keeping them active. And people have asked me so many of the times over the years, well, when should I stop feeding birds? Well, if you're going to stop feeding birds, I would wait at least until the middle of June or so. They're gorgeous. They entertain us. We love them, and you get to see that really beautiful, colorful show now through the next couple of months. So great idea for a program. Thanks for sending that in. Please send in more ideas for programs. If you would, give us a like, give us a share. Until next time, let's talk birds.